Hello again, it's Noob, and when I saw this tricircle bicycle lock on eBay, I just had to have it. It wasn't too expensive, and you might be thinking, but why isn't tricircle relatively easy? Normally yes, but this one is tougher than you think. I don't know whether it's by accident or design, and also I just could not help this beautiful vintage branding on here. Now it's hard to age this. I'd say it's somewhere between 1960 and 1990. It's probably somewhere within that era. I'm hazarding 1970s, but either way, I just love this sort of shiny red, gold and blue enameling on here. I don't know, I just really like it. Here is the key with a reasonable bitting, some highs at the front and the back, lows in the middle. And, well, headphone warning, as this might be quite loud. There's a strong spring on this. You would turn the key and, well, you'll see what happens. It shoots the whole bolt back. Now, how does that work? Well, you can imagine how that works. Basically, there's a spring, and you might be able to just see down here the end of the spring, and that spring will coil all the way around and attach itself to the other end of this bolt. The thing that's keeping this from retracting, of course, is probably the back of the key, some little actuator at the back, and as that key turns, it'll release, and I'll keep it this time so it doesn't slide back violently, and it'll just come round. You can actually hear the spring in there as it does so. Now, what's interesting about this lock, before I pick it, is that it seems to either have very good spools or very poor pins. It's really hard to tell, and clearly you can't take this apart without doing some damage to this item, so I won't be able to. But it's surprisingly hard once you pick a pin. Getting into a false set, it's actually surprisingly difficult to pick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some hybrid picking on this one. I'm going to start out with some raking and then pick any final pins. For those of you unfamiliar with how these older style bike locks work, this actually goes just under the back seat on the bike frame. It's screwed in, and then this passes through the top of the rear tyre through the spokes. So essentially it acts as a way, an old style bike lock way to stop people from riding off with your bike. These are still sold under certain brands and can be a useful secondary sort of security option. So yeah, still worth considering. So we are in the vise, and here's that little 5-pin key. It's quite a stiff key to put in sometimes, and the keyway's a bit tough. I think it's all under tension from this spring, so you don't get great feedback. And the pins in here are either quite good spools or those really horrible Chinese sort of chewed pins that are sometimes marketed as mushroom pins, but are really not. They're like chewed wire. Either way, whatever's in here just makes it a relatively tricky pick, despite it should be, despite it maybe being easy. And what I'm going to do is use this snake rake and maybe even pick using the tip here to act as sort of a hybrid rake slash pick. So just going to go through a bit of raking, a bit of if I've overset something, I need to sort of almost manually counter rotate as well. And I think we're in a bit of a false set. Back through. Now we're into a really good false set. So I wasn't sure what pins I was picking there, just sort of anything, and I need to adjust my tension. So there we go, that's better. And I can swap over to maybe a hook, something strong, because you really need to push up on these pins to set them. So let's have a go. So what do we have? Pin 5, nothing. 4, 3, 2, counter rotation. Not happy with that. Let's try that again. 5, 4, 3. Here we go. So 3. Got to balance that tension a little bit, and we've got it, and we're open. So that was relatively tricky. I don't know what the pins are like inside. They felt like very deep spools. Maybe being a vintage lock, they just made this lock slightly better than normal. I'm not entirely sure, but I found that combination of sort of raking, hybrid raking, picking, it got us that open in the end. Anyway, if you like this video, please leave a like. If you have a comment about this lock or the video, please leave it below. I do read them all and reply to as many as I can. If you haven't subscribed, do consider subscribing. Really helps my channel out. And of course, I'll see you all next time.